Happy Easter weekend, everyone. If this video looks a bit jumpy, it's because I'm stopping and starting, because I have put a chicken on that serves 6 people. I don't know why I've done that, because there's only 2 of us and I have enough food to probably feed about 9 people. But Easter was always quite a big thing in our house, and it's a bit sad that I can't be there, so I've decided to kind of do it myself. But we'll probably be eating roast dinners for the next 3-4 days, which is fine, to be fair. I'm also trying to get some washing done because my boyfriend has decided that this week, fiance actually, he was going to wash every single item of his clothing and iron everything and put stuff he didn't want on the bay. He actually said that, but seriously. But you know, you've got to love them for their flaws. So I did have a think about it, and I thought this video probably should have come before the last video, but I'm new to this, thought just work with what we have. I put a little question box on Instagram to see if anyone had any specific questions about Odette or me, to see kind of like where I'd go with this video. And we had a few really nice ones, actually. There were a few funny ones. I thought I'd kind of start from the beginning of where I kind of got the idea, and then what I felt was missing in the beauty industry. We'll start with me, because obviously if some of you haven't met me, I'm not actually a beautician. I'm trained in a few things, but it's not my trade. It's not what I started off doing. So someone asked about my schooling and university and things like that. At school I did A-levels in 6th form, and then I went on to university. I struggled with university. Do I think it helped me long term? Probably not, but you know, it's not all about the education when you go to university. I always kind of knew I wanted to start a business. I don't know why, but I always saw my family have always had their own businesses, and family friends have always had their own businesses, and then I ended up, my boyfriend also worked in his family business and now runs that with his dad. So it kind of I've always been around it, so I've kind of known sort of the pluses and minuses to it. So I've seen the stress, but I've also seen what good you can do when you run a business. I'm so sorry it's so hot in here, but there's children playing outside and we live in a block of flats and I can't have the window open, so apologies if I look a bit sweaty. So I always kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, but I just didn't have a passion, or I couldn't think of something that I could do better than someone else could, or a gap in the market. So I went to university, I studied marketing at Nottingham-Trent. I had a great time, to be fair, even if I didn't enjoy the actual education part of it. The rest of it was pretty fun. I then came back and got a job in a company that does hardware and software for football stadiums, sports stadiums in the UK and the US. And I really enjoyed it. It was client facing, it was a bit of marketing, it was everything I kind of wanted in a job, but it just wasn't really the job for me. I enjoyed it and I had fun, and I'm still close with people who I worked with at the time, but it wasn't where I wanted to go in life, sort of thing. So me and my boyfriend went on holiday to celebrate like our 1st year anniversary or something, and we went to the Champagne region in France. And we were driving through there, and we'd been to a few other places, and I just said, I was like, I really want to start something and have something of my own. And I started thinking about what I was passionate about, what I was really into, what I thought I could do better that other people aren't doing, and I came up with a shop. Because my skin has always been a bit of a problem for me, and I used to have weekly facials. Looking back at it now, I don't know why that beautician suggested I have weekly facials, but you know, I won't name or shame. But that definitely wasn't something I should have had done, and they were quite invasive. They were using machines, they were using certain products that definitely didn't work. But I'd always been around skincare and makeup, because again, 2 kind of come hand in hand. When I had bad skin, I had to sort of learn how to do my makeup quite naturally. But I decided that I would start a shop. That was it. And I came back from the holiday and I said this to my parents. My mum has also always been into skincare, and again, they run their own business, so they know the ups and downs of it. And they were like, yeah, let's see where this can go. I still was at my job, but we'll see how this can kind of go. So I looked into renting a space in High Barnet. That's where I wanted. And a place next to the Present. If you live in Barnet, you'll know how the Present is basically like an institution in itself. And Louise in there is absolutely amazing. And we went in and it was just perfect. What I do need to mention here is my dad is in construction. So he was able to see the vision that I had, how I wanted to design it, how I wanted to do it. So if I did it the way I did it without my dad, it would probably cost an absolute fortune. But luckily I knew someone. It was brilliant, it was great. And literally about 2 weeks after, we were signing the lease and doing everything. So obviously I quit my job. And we opened in October the 6th, 2015. So yeah, about 4.5 years ago, which is mad. And I had 4 members of staff at the time, not including myself. And I thought we're going to be rushed off our feet. Like, it's going to be so busy. I'm not going to be able to go to the toilet, I'm not going to answer the phone, because this is such a good idea and I believe in it so much. This is brilliant. And within about, well, we opened in October, and probably by January I'd let most of the staff go. And then about 2 months after that, it was just me working 7 days a week. I actually spoke to some family friends of ours who used to own a shop in St Albans, and I asked them their opinion, and they said the service route is the way to kind of go and to keep this going. And we had a lot of people asking for treatment lists, for price lists and things like that. So it was kind of always on the cards. And then, so we opened, I think it was the 22nd of November 2016, we opened the salon. So then it went from a shop to a salon within a year, and it all took off, and it seemed to be working as a salon. It was brilliant. We had a fantastic beautician, Joanna, if any of you have been with us since the beginning. And a few months later we got Mary Angela, who you'd know because she's still with us, and she's not going anywhere anytime soon, which is great. She's like family now. And it just seems to have just snowballed from there, which is brilliant. And obviously now we're moving to a bigger space. That's kind of where it started and where it came from. If anyone is more interested in kind of going a bit more in depth of like suppliers, how long it takes to actually start a shop, the financial side of things, just let me know in the comments and I can actually do a separate video on that. I'll be pretty honest about it. The reason I started Odette was because I kind of, like I said, I've always been into skincare and makeup, and that's fine, but a lot of girls are. But I used to go into shops and be either blanked, be spoken to like a piece of shit, or me and my friend once got accused of stealing in MAC because I was waiting around for about 25 to 30 minutes for one lipstick, and in the end I was like, I know where they are, they're in the drawer underneath where the lipsticks are. And I went in and they were like, if you're stealing you will be chucked out. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I just want this. So she gave it to me, went to the till, and they're like, hi, who helped you today? And I said, no one. And then a girl from across the room was like, I did. So she got commission, and it just wound me up, and it literally has stuck with me. That was probably about 8-9 years ago. Clearly not got over it. Like every shop that I kind of went into to buy skincare, I just felt a bit judged. And it wasn't just me being mad. Like I used to complain to this to my mum and she'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Definitely not a thing. And then there was one day we went to a shop, won't be named, and I walked in, to be fair, I was quite hungover, not wearing any makeup, and everyone ignored me. And I was probably holding in my hands about 125, 150 pounds worth of stuff, and no one would talk to me. But my mum walked in to find me and, you know, had the right bag and was a certain age, and they thought she was going to spend money, and 3 people tried to stop her to ask if they could help. And that was the final straw. I wanted it to be, as soon as you walked in, you found help, no matter what you wanted, even if it was just you wanted a foundation or you wanted a body wash. Either way, you weren't going to be judged. Someone was going to help you in there. I wanted to be truthful, and if you've been in the shop and you've spoken to me personally, I'm a terrible salesperson. If you ask for, say, a certain foundation and I think that what we have isn't what you're looking for, I will tell you to go and buy another one if I think it's better elsewhere. I will not ever try and sell you 8 or 9 products that you desperately need for your skincare regime. It's honest, if you're not that into skincare and you're starting from the beginning, you are not going to do a 4, 5, 6 step plan. So start from the beginning, start small and try and get a bit further. I also wanted to go for more natural feel, so it was all natural products I wanted in the shop, like natural based. They're not 100% natural by any means, but they're effective, but they're very good for people with sensitive skin like myself. So it was kind of focusing on me as the plus customer and client, exactly what I wanted, but it seems to have worked out because a lot of people like that. And that kind of flowed through when we started the beauticians. I didn't want a beauticians where we had big machines and we were trying to sell you 3D lipo. So when you walked in, you would get, and I've had this before, where you go in for like an eyebrow shape, or if you were going in for a pedicure and they try and sell you all of these like lipo packages that you really didn't need. And it wasn't their intention, because they are sales staff and that's what some beauticians do focus on, but it makes you feel a bit like, do you think I need this? And I don't try and do it. However, I do know that sometimes Mary Angela can tell people that they need a facial, but it is her way of being kind and loving. I just wanted a bit of truthfulness, a bit of a transparency in the beauty industry that I feel like some places sometimes don't give you. Tie in quite well, and it has worked quite well. One question someone had was the trouble or the sort of bad things that have happened or things that I've struggled with running a business. And I think the main thing that people need to remember if and when they want to start their own business is the ups and downs of it. So you can literally go day to day, you can go a whole week with completely different feelings per day. So we can have one day where someone's come in and been really, really horrible and really nasty to either me or a member of staff, or just in general not a nice person, and it sticks with you, but you have to keep going. Like for the whole day, every time someone new comes in, you have to smile, you have to put on. That's quite difficult to do, which is actually why I found I'm not as sociable as I was before all of this, because sometimes you need to just go home and be like, that's with every single business, whether it's customer facing or not, because you can have a really good month where you're like, I'm on a roll, this is working so well, this is going so good, everything's working out, and then just one decision will one day knock you for the next month, and there's nothing you can do. It's half of it is actually out of your control. So the ups and downs and the kind of consistency does mess with your head a bit, and I did struggle with that for the first few years. However, like I said, I've got a lot of people around me who are in similar situations, so I've always had someone to talk to, and my friends are great with this as well. They kind of know that although it might be a different sort of path for my employment, they know that when I have a rant, I need to have a rant and I need to let it out. So I've got very good people around me who will listen to me for however long I need them to. The ups and downs are a lot. Even in the greater scheme of things, I thought this shop was going to be booming, it was going to be ready, and everyone was going to love it, and it'd be so, so busy and thriving. And you know, after a year, I had to kind of come to terms with that might not have been right. Obviously, it's not failed, and it's now half and half, but you know, trying to look from a non-personal point of view when business is so personal is quite difficult, and that's probably the hardest bit, I would say. Another question I had was what I'm going to do when I'm out of isolation. And apart from going to see family, I'm going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to go and have someone make me food and bring me wine, so I don't have to clear up after myself, because I tell you what, I'm sick of it. Like this chicken, it's just going mad. Yeah, so I'm going to go and do that, and then I don't know, I'll probably go to a pub and go and see the shop. I'm hoping, we're in a bit of a limbo at the moment with the new shop because no one can really work on it. We don't know when we're going to be open, but obviously we have to be open for when everyone's allowed back out, but we don't really know when that is, or if it's going to be staggered, and I could do a whole other video on that. What else have I had? General good skincare regime. Don't do an extraction yourself at home. Obviously you've not been able to have facials during this time unless you're doing them yourself, but you're trained in doing it. I have found masks are really good to keep on top of things. So I was currently doing one facial a month in preparation for my wedding in August. That's obviously gone to shit. I have picked, but I know how to do an extraction, so I've kind of done it myself, which you can probably see I've had a few breakouts. It's been a bit stressful. Masks, if you are using a detox mask or a purifying mask, I don't mean the sheet mask. I mean, you can use them for hydration, but if you are breaking out under all this stress or anything like that, try not to pick. Try to just put a mask over it, and then just keep to your cleansing, toning and moisturise. Keep it simple and try not to try anything too new. I know that at this time you can go and buy stuff and try the most random things that just try and keep your skin as clean as possible. And if you're not wearing makeup, it's probably helping. And exfoliate once a week. Even if you're not going out or doing exercise or anything like that, just exfoliate once or twice a week just to make sure that you're getting all the dead skin off and things like that. Don't use anything with charcoal in. I know I say this to every client that walks in, but just don't do it. We'll be stocking the full Medix 8, I think that's Medicate range, and we will be in our new shop. It's a very large range and they've got a lot of facials, including things like chemical peels. So we didn't have time before we closed to do all the training and things like that. The new shop will have more rooms, it will have more space, and it will fit in better there. So we will be doing that. I'm not sure when. Like I said, I have no idea what's going on, but we will be definitely stocking the Medicate range, and I love it. And they're doing a lot at the moment for the coronavirus. They're making hand sanitizer and getting it all out, and they're a really, really good brand to work with. And one of our clients actually works for them, and she's fantastic. There you go. Right, that's most of the questions. The other questions are a bit more like business based, so I might, if people are interested in doing like a business video just on how we actually started in more details rather than Odette in general. In terms of the new shop, I think I'm going to do a video, because I did manage to get up there last week, of where it is now and kind of the vision and what we want. So I might do that next week and try and get that edited, but it is a bit in bits. But I'll try and see how it goes. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe and comment anything, because I will actually be doing like a beauty haul. I'm going to buy some stuff next week, I think, and kind of go through any products that you might think I might like, or anything that you've tried that you love, or anything that you're too scared to try. I'll happily try it for you. So put them in the comments as well. And I hope you have a happy Easter and a lovely weekend. Not that you can go out and do much, but you know, try and get some sunshine. Sit by a window if you're in a flat, which is what I will be doing, and enjoy some time with your families.